Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. And I think it's a great day to tell 4 news stories on this topic, so let's get started. The restaurant, the Karen, and the spatula. So this happened 2 days ago during my lunch break. While the Karen screeching was not directed at me, I was able to observe it all go down firsthand. Backstory. I've been going to the same restaurant for lunch for the past 2 months. It's a small place, but the food is amazing and prices are low. As a regular, I eventually got pretty friendly with the staff and waiters. I tip well and always try to be smiling and nice. They deserve it. As such, I know everyone who works there and the manager's girlfriend. She comes in from time to have lunch around the same time I do, and we greet each other with a nod and a smile. That's all the backstory you need. Now to the show. As usual, I arrive around 1 p.m. and see the Karen walking just slightly behind me with her kid. I open the door to the restaurant and hold it so they can pass. I'll let you guess if she said thank you or not. We go in and the restaurant is packed. There are only 3 open tables, so Karen and her kid take one and I take the other. Literally a minute later, the manager's girlfriend, GF from now on, walks in. She goes up to the bar and talks with her boyfriend, briefly. Due to the chaos, both of the waiters are overwhelmed, and GF helps one of them carry a set of trays to a table. She's cool like that and sits down on the last remaining table. Admittedly, service was kind of slow, but due to the sheer amount of people, it was understandable. Well, understandable for me, not the Karen. At some point, she just scoffs and bolts up, walking to GF's table. Karen, excuse me, can we order? GF, caught off guard. I'm sorry, what? Karen, can we order? We've been waiting for 10 minutes. GF, you'll have to ask a waiter. I don't work here. Karen, of course you do. I saw you carry trays. GF, that was just to help. Karen, and now you're taking a break? You just came in. How can you be so lazy? GF, seriously, ma'am, I don't work here. Karen, bullcrap, I saw you. You have to take my order. At this point, a waiter manages to get to them. Meanwhile, I can see her daughter literally trying to unsubscribe from existence. Waiter, ma'am, is there a problem here? Karen, this lazy B-word won't take my order. Waiter, she doesn't work here. I can. Karen cut him off. I saw her working. I want to talk to your manager. She can't behave like that. The waiter just shrugged and the manager came over. Manager, ma'am, what's going on? Karen, she refuses to serve me. You have to discipline her right now. Manager, without effing blinking. I will be sure to spank her with the hardest spatula we have later, but at the moment, she doesn't work here, and I can't help you. Waiter here will be happy to take your order. Karen's just sitting there, mouth gaping as if she was struck by the lightning of Zeus himself. The restaurant is quiet. GF is blushing a bit, but smiling. I'm doing my best not to laugh out loud and failing. You can hear muffled chuckles from other tables. After about 20 seconds, the Karen huffs and drags her poor kid out of the restaurant. I tipped a lot that day. My favorite line in the story? Meanwhile, I can see her daughter literally trying to unsubscribe from existence. And our next story. I'm trying to eat here, man, but thanks for the extra combo. So this happened about 40 minutes ago. I went out for lunch and decided to have some McDonald's. The restaurant has 2 doors, out of which one is closed due to being next to a remodeling area inside the venue. I'm sitting across from said door, just enjoying my meal, when an old couple tries and fails to open the locked door. They somehow manage to not see the sign indicating that the door is locked while pressing their faces against the glass. Old guy spots me, signals the door. I ignore him, continue to eat. I should mention that I'm not dressed in any way as a McDonald's employee. I'm wearing a copper red shirt and blue jeans. Eventually, they make it in, and he alone is over at my table. Lazy piece of crap, ain't ya? Only on Thursdays. Why didn't you open the door? Because I'm eating, and I don't work here. You're lying. Get me your manager. My manager's in New York on a business trip. Bullcrap, he screamed as he slapped my tray off my table with my meal on it. So I get up, he squares up, and I walk past him. I make it to the register with him right on my heels, yelling crap like, not so tough now, are ya? Gonna go cry to your manager now? I didn't need to ask for a manager, since the old guy was being so loud. Manager, sup? Old guy, this lazy piece of crap wouldn't open the door for us because he was eating, so do something about it. Me, That's right, and he knocked my tray off the table. Old guy, you got that meal for free. You'll get another, so quit your complaining. Manager, you're right, he is getting a meal for free. You need to leave. I can't have you assaulting my customers, so leave or you'll be escorted out. Old guy, but the customer is always right. You shouldn't reward lazy employees for being lazy and talking back to a customer. Manager, he doesn't work here. He's a customer, and you are on your way out. By this point, it seemed to have clicked for the old guy. He stared at me, then back to the manager, called his wife, and they both walked out. I got a free meal, and they gave me an Oreo sundae. Thanks, old guy. Plot twist. I used to work here 6 years ago. I used to work at a very popular high-end grocery store in my area. I worked in almost every department. I started there when I was 15 and took whatever hours I could to make extra money until I finished college when I was 21. I made a lot of friends there. I met my now husband there, and this particular store happens to be the nearest grocery store to where I live now. I shop there regularly and pop in to visit some of the friends I made who still work there. Fast forward, it's been 6 years since I left to go get a full-time job in my career field. Hubby and I are married, and now we have a 5-month-old son. I had a C-section, so a few weeks after giving birth, my doctor gave me the okay to drive, and a month or so after that, I felt confident enough to go get a couple of groceries alone with my little nugget. I put him in a baby wrap so I wouldn't have to lug in his carrier. Anyway, all this is worth mentioning because I just had a baby, so my hair was a wreck, probably had a baby spit on one or both of my shoulders, was basically in pajamas, and not to mention literally wearing my infant. The other thing that's worth mentioning is that this store in question had recently displaced literally all of their products to make room for a new beer and wine section that they want front and center when you walk in. I used to know where everything was in that store, but that was 6 years ago and before they moved everything. Okay, now here's the story. So I don't remember what I was looking for, but I was standing in front of a shelf when a woman walked up to me, doesn't say hello or excuse me, just gets in my way. So I look up. The kicker is that I actually vaguely recognize this lady. She's a regular and I'd probably checked out her items at least a few times while I've been working there. As soon as I made eye contact with her, she asks, "Where are the pickles?" Me, "Oh, sorry, I don't know." Her, "Why not?" Me, kind of caught off guard and a bit sleep deprived, so my brain's not really firing on all cylinders. "I don't know off the top of my head." Her, "If they're going to move everything around on me, you should at least know where it's moved to so that I don't have to wander around the store." Me, feeling like I shouldn't have to point this out due to my appearance and the fact that my infant child is strapped to my chest. "I don't work here." Her, "Yes, you do." Me, contemplating if the last few years were a hallucination and if I do still work here. No, I really don't." Her, getting mad now. "Yes, you do. I've seen you standing at that information stand up front. I realize you're not on the clock now," gesturing vaguely at me, "but why can't you just tell me where to find what I'm looking for?" Me, "I haven't worked here in over 6 years." She just stared at me and said nothing. I was exhausted and just wanted to finish up and go home, so I just walked away. Not sure if she didn't believe me or if she just didn't know what to say after realizing her mistake. I feel bad that I wasn't nicer. I know she wasn't very nice to me, but it's not her fault they rearranged the whole store she's been going to for like 10 years now. I was just so tired and not even processing the situation, I just escaped the first moment I could. Well, I hope that lady found her pickles without harassing anyone else. I ended up calling them a 4-letter word. Last weekend, I brought my car to the dealership for an oil change and inspection. I had dinner planned soon after, so I was dressed in a collared shirt and dress pants, which also happens to be the uniform of the dealership sales team, minus the name tag. The dealership has a waiting room on the main floor next to the service station. That's where I was standing around helping myself to the free coffee, and I hear it for the first time, behind me. "Do you know when my car will be ready?" There was nobody else in the lounge, and I knew right away she had to be talking to me. I was annoyed on principle that she half shouted it at my back. "Hello, I've been waiting 45 minutes and need to go soon." I turned around, my lips still glued to the coffee cup, and just stared at her, saying nothing, because my mood now went from annoyed to amused. Her, Are you deaf? Where's my car? Me. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but I can't help you. I'm sure if you ask an employee here, I am asking you. Well then, good luck, I said, and turned around. Her sigh was loud enough to almost rattle my teeth, and she stormed off to the bathroom. Moments later, an employee came over and asked me if everything is all right. I explained the situation, and she smiled and asked me to direct the lady to her if it happens again. I said sure. A few minutes later, bathroom door opens. I hear aggressive footsteps, so I look in that direction and see her making a beeline towards me and stopping a foot away while pointing a finger at my chest. You are a terrible employee. I bought 3 cars from this place and will be going to competitor brands the next time I need a car. Ma'am. She stepped even closer to me so I could now smell her breath. That is the worst service. You are unprofessional, and I want to... Me, losing my cool. Listen, you dopey F. I don't work here. Why haven't you figured that out? She stammered, said a few words that I can't remember. Then suddenly the employee I spoke to swooped in and led the lady away with a stunned and angry look on her face. Soon after I could hear, she was already well into the next session of complaining. I sat down in a chair to finish my coffee. I was so jacked up on adrenaline, though, I ended up playing the situation like 100 times over in my head. Later on, I got an apology from the real employee, which was nice but unnecessary. I don't think a client's behavior is their responsibility. In any case, these situations are truly more fun to read about than be in. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and we'll see you in the next one.